my name is Andie Braun, and I just graduated from LaSalle High School here in Pasadena. I am going to UC Riverside in the fall to study biology and hopefully pursue psychiatry. I am interested in psychiatry because I've always loved the idea of individuality. I want to find out what it is inside of us that makes us all unique. I want to know how we can all be so biologically similar, yet incredibly different in beliefs, values, morals, and personality. Even as a child, I loved the idea of being an individual, my own unique person, which has made me reluctant to classify myself as part of any one group. One thing I've learned through All Saints is that community and individuality are not mutually exclusive. All Saints is comprised of extraordinary individuals who are laced together by the Holy Spirit to create a community of compassion, acceptance, and love. It's always been hard for me to grasp the idea of the Holy Spirit. When I was younger, I thought of it as a ghost. But as I got older and my idea of God evolved, so did my idea of the Holy Spirit. I've always seen God in people. I see God in my mom's selflessness and baffling organizational skills. I see God in my dad's ability to forgive and in his generosity. I see God in my brother's unwavering honesty and his ability to talk to literally anybody. I see God in my friend's love of life and adventure. So, if I see God in people, the Holy Spirit must be what binds us together. While reading the passage from 1 Corinthians in preparation for this sermon, it occurred to me that All Saints is a microcosm for the one body referred to in the text. Each individual is welcomed and appreciated here, no matter sexual orientation, gender identity, immigration status, language spoken, or race, because all of these qualities that make us different from each other have one thing in common. They were all instilled in us through the same thing, the Holy Spirit, working through all of us, the common thread running through all of humanity. Because although we are incredibly different, we are also very much the same, and that is one of the most valuable lessons All Saints has taught me. I served as a youth representative on the All Saints vestry this past year, and the first meeting I attended was the vestry staff conference. One thing being discussed was the resolution on racism. There's one line in the resolution that reads, racism is an affront to God. I didn't really think twice about it because racism is abhorrent and deserves to be described with harsh language. But one of the retiring youth vestry representatives disagreed. He made the point that God is in everybody, including those who engage in racist activities, and we should not use language that excludes anybody from the unconditional love of God. People have the capacity to change, and instead of excluding people from God's community, we should aid in that change. This inclusive way of thinking about people I previously condemned made a large impact on me, especially over the course of the presidential election and now throughout the current presidential administration. I hate Trump's exclusionary rhetoric, and I hate that so many Americans identify with it. While it is healthy to have strong opinions and positions, I found myself hating Donald Trump and his supporters. It got to a point where when I found out that one of my good friends voted for him, I didn't want to continue being her friend. It wasn't until then that I realized how full of anger and hatred I was. I was becoming the hate I thought I was fighting. I was becoming intolerant. I was harshly judging people who thought differently than me. In my religious studies class my junior year, we discussed topics such as abortion, gun control, and gay rights. I became angry at people who had opposing opinions. I thought that they were intolerant, when in reality, so was I. I was judging people based on one small part of them, when I really had more in common with them than not. They were a part of my LaSalle community, and there is no place for exclusion within a community. It wasn't until my senior year of high school that I truly understood what community meant. I've had the same general group of friends all 4 years of high school. There were obviously some additions and subtractions because, it's high school. But overall, we were pretty stable. Although I'd always had friends, it wasn't until this last year or so that I learned the true meaning of friendship. About midway through our senior year, one of my best friends was going through a period of depression. It got pretty scary, and she had to leave school for several weeks to get the help she needed. This was a wake-up call and a half for me and my group of 4 friends. Suddenly, we had to take things seriously. All of a sudden, the mood in the air around us shifted. Just like that, our usually lighthearted conversations became discussions about core beliefs, and we found ourselves confessing our greatest fears. Because of this change in our atmosphere, I really got to know the people I had been friends with for 4 years. I am incredibly grateful for the sense of community I feel when I'm with them. They have taught me that love takes work. Hating people is easy. Loving can be incredibly difficult, but it is exactly what our world needs more of. It takes a lot of strength to see past someone's sexism, racism, homophobia, Islamophobia, etc. But somewhere deep inside of them, there is a glimmer of a loving God. Inclusion and the promise of that glimmer is what we need to focus on, because we cannot fight hate with more hate. All Saints is famous for its inclusive choice of language, but one saying that has always stood out to me is, whoever you are and wherever you find yourself on your journey of faith, you are welcome here. In order to make All Saints welcoming to more people, we have a Spanish language service every Sunday. In the reading from Acts, the Holy Spirit descends upon the followers of Jesus and gives the people the ability to understand each other in their own native tongue. The diversity in language among these people was honored by the Holy Spirit. It was not seen as negative or as a threat to the people already living in Judea. The Holy Spirit did not tell the followers of Jesus to learn Aramaic because that was the language of their new leader. There is a lot of tension surrounding the topic of language these days. Many people express anger and resentment to immigrants who are learning a completely different and difficult language. Even beyond language, immigrants are expected to effectively assimilate into white American culture. Muslim women are viewed with suspicion, shamed, and even attacked for their choice to wear the hijab. Oftentimes, we do not respect different cultural practices. However, that is not how the Holy Spirit saw it. Pentecost is the uplifting of different cultures. It is the celebration of different peoples coming together in the name of a common interest. So this Pentecost, let's celebrate differences in thoughts and beliefs while making sure to never condone the exclusion of peoples from the community of God. We must continue to actively welcome all people into this community and encourage others to do the same. As a community, we can embody the Holy Spirit at work in the world.